Hello and welcome. You're watching Express News, a show where we take you through the top 100 news stories of the day. I'm Manman Paracharya. Let's get started. In an exclusive interview to Doordarshan News on Tuesday, Union Education Minister Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said that JEE and NEET exams would be held as per schedule in September, in line with the wishes of parents and students alike. National Testing Agency has substantially increased the number of examination centres for JEE Main and NEET UG exams. The number of examination centres have been increased from 570 to 660 in case of JEE Main and from 2,546 to 3,843 in case of NEET UG 2020. In case of JEE Main, the number of shifts have increased from the earlier 8 to 12 and the number of candidates per shift has been reduced from earlier 1.32 lakh to 85,000 now. Candidates have also been issued an advisory guiding them about do's and don'ts for proper social distancing. NTA has also written to the state governments to extend support in the local movement of candidates so that they are able to reach their examination centres on time. The death toll in the building collapse in Mahad has increased to 16. 3 National Disaster Response Force teams are engaged in rescue and relief operations. Latest technology, including drones and sniffer dogs, are being used in the rescue efforts. In a massive rescue operation, the NDRF has rescued a 60-year-old lady from debris after more than 24 hours of the building collapse. State government has announced a financial assistance of up to 50,000 rupees and that will be provided to the injured. Kafka's 2020, a multinational exercise, will be held in September in southern Russia this year. About 180 troops of an infantry company along with Navy observers and Air Force elements will be part of the multinational exercise Kafkas. The exercise, which will be held from the 15th to the 27th of September in Astrakhan region, will feature China and Pakistan as well. Sources told DD News that more than 13,000 troops of 20 countries, which include SCO nations and Central Asian republics, will also be participating. Today is Women's Equality Day, celebrated every year to mark the adoption of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States in 1920, providing the right to vote to women, which earlier was denied in the US. Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar on the occasion greeted the nation. In a tweet, he said, "Heartfelt greetings to women's world on the occasion of Women's Equality Day. I salute their indomitable courage. The government is committed to ensure dignity, equality, security, participation and empowerment of women." Jammu ropeway project to resume tourism operations soon after COVID-19 situation is over. This facility at Jammu will attract large number of pilgrims as well as tourists, as it will connect 3 major temples of Jammu city, the Pir Khon Temple, Mahamaya Temple and the Bahu Fort Temple. Kerala is celebrating 10-day-long Onam festival, which will conclude on the 2nd of September. The festival marks the return of mythical demon king Mahabali to see his subjects at the beginning of Chingam, the first month of the Malayalam calendar. Onam this year will be a little muted due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but the government has ensured that the festival does not lose its colour. The state authorities have urged people not to use imported flowers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday shared mesmerising visuals of the iconic Sun Temple in Gujarat's Modhera. Taking to Twitter, Prime Minister posted the video of the splendid view. Dedicated to the solar deity Surya, located in Modhera village of Mehsana, the temple is located on the bank of the river Pashupati. The exclusively carved temple complex and magnificently sculpted kund are jewels in the art of masonry of the Solanki period, apparently which was also known as the Golden Age of Gujarat. The remains of the sun temples at Modhera are relics of times gone by when reverence of the natural elements, fire, air, earth, water and sky were at their peak, sharing space with myriad manifestations of Vedic gods. Following the centre-led policy of test, track, treat, collaborative efforts of the state or UT governments have led to India consistently ramping up its testing infrastructure to touch a capacity of 10 lakh tests per day. Early identification of the COVID-19 infections through timely and aggressive testing has played a pivotal role in India's strategy to fight the pandemic. The cumulative testing as on date has reached 3,76,51,512. 8,23,992 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. The growing network of testing labs offer expanded opportunities to strengthen the testing facilities across the country. There are a total of 1,540 laboratories today, including 992 labs in the government sector and 548 private labs. 24,67,758 people have recovered from the virus so far, and the recovery rate has climbed to 76.3%. The fatality rate has fallen to 1.84%. The number of recoveries in India today exceeded the active cases by 3.5 times. Recovery of 63,173 COVID-19 patients in the last 24 hours has resulted in cumulative recoveries of 24,67,758 people. The record high recoveries have ensured that the actual caseload of the country, that is the active cases, has further lowered. It currently comprises only 21.87% of the total positive cases. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has been receiving requests from various quarters, including senior citizen beneficiaries, to start teleconsultation services with specialist doctors in view of the current COVID-19 pandemic. The opposition in Kerala staged a demonstration at the Secretariat after a minor fire broke out at the Protocol Department. The opposition alleged that important files relating to the gold smuggling case were destroyed. There has been a partial improvement in the flood situation in Bihar. However, the affected population has not declined. There are 1,333 panchayats and 130 blocks of 16 districts that are still facing floods. The total population of more than 83 lakh people are affected in these districts of Bihar. 27 people have so far died due to the current floods. According to the Disaster Management Department, 5 relief camps are still being run in Samastipur and one in Khagaria, in which 5,000 people are living, whereas 1,38,000 families are being served cooked food through 174 community kitchens. According to the Met Office, there has been heavy rainfall in the catchment areas of Bagmati and Adhwara rivers in Nepal. This may impact the water level in these rivers in Bihar. The river Bagmati, Gandak and Buri Gandak are above the danger mark at many places. An embankment of Balan river is still breached in Bhagwanpur block of Begusarai district. Parts of Rajasthan will continue to witness intense rainfall activity this week. Met Department forecasts heavy to very heavy showers across the state until Friday. The state has received only 5% less rain than the average till now, while 3 districts have received excess rain. However, there are 8 districts where there has been less rain than usual. The Met Department has issued a yellow alert for Barmer and Jaisalmer, where heavy rains are expected at some places. Out of 750 dams in the state, 70 are running at full capacity. Gates of Mahi Dam were opened to release excess water after heavy rain. Incessant rains across several states have worsened the flood situation. Rainfall continues unabated in 33 districts of Gujarat since the last 10 days, registering 107% of the rainfall in the season. Some parts of the state registered a rainfall of over 4 to 9 inches. In Abdasa extension of Kutch region, water has entered in dwellings after receiving rainfall of 9 inches, while in Junagadh, communication has been cut in some villages, due to which people are facing hardships. A 6-member central team is in Assam to assess the extent of damage caused by the floods that affected around 57 lakh people and killed 113 people between 22nd May and 20th August. Rising for the 4th consecutive session, BSE benchmark Sensex surged on Wednesday following gains. After touching a high of 39,111.55 during the day, the BSE Sensex ended 230.04 points or 0.59% higher at 39,073.92. The NSE Nifty advanced 77.35 points or 0.67% to finish at 11,549.6. The rupee pared some of its early gains and settled 3 paise higher at 74.3 provisional against the US dollar on Wednesday, supported by positive domestic equities and sustained foreign fund inflows. Gold prices declined at 210 rupees to 51,963 rupees per 10 gram in the national capital on Wednesday, following a weak trend in the global market and rupee appreciation, according to HDFC Securities. Silver prices rose by 195 rupees to 64,202 rupees per kg in futures trade on Wednesday, as participants widened their bets on firm spot demand. Crude oil prices rose by 2 rupees to 3,228 rupees per barrel on Wednesday, as participants widened their positions on firm spot demand. Coronavirus has so far infected over 2 crore 40 lakh people and claimed 8 lakh 24,000 lives worldwide. US continues to be worst affected with over 59.5 lakh cases of the infection and 1.82 lakh fatalities, followed by Brazil, where 36.74 lakh cases prevail, with the death toll crossing 1.16 lakh. 1 crore 66 lakh people have recovered from COVID-19 from around the world. UK, Italy, France and Peru trail behind Brazil in terms of fatalities. Argentina registered highest single-day spike in COVID-19 cases. The country is battling with the virus and has imposed strict quarantine in capital Buenos Aires and its suburbs to curb the spread, but caseload is seeing an upsurge in other parts of Argentina. Cuba has started human trials of Soberana-01, which is its potential COVID-19 vaccine. In the first phase of the study, the vaccine has been inoculated to a group of 20 volunteers between the age of 19 and 59. Amid Chile gradually easing in fact world's one of the stiffest coronavirus lockdowns, the country has reached another grim milestone, with the number of COVID-19 cases crossing the 4 lakh mark. In Cuba, Storm Laura made landfall on Monday night across Cuba's southern coast. Laura toppled trees and telephone posts and downed power lines. More than 3 lakh people were evacuated and thousands of people were moved to emergency shelters. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that top US officials will escort an Israeli delegation to the United Arab Emirates on Monday for talks on cementing a normalization deal with the UAE. In the UK, Storm Frances has brought widespread destruction due to strong winds and heavy rain. Storm toppled trees, damaged homes and blocked roads. Several highways and roads were flooded after heavy rainfall. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has called for preventive efforts against novel coronavirus and a typhoon. State news agency KCNA said that an enlarged meeting of the Politburo of the Workers' Party took place on Tuesday. South Korea ordered doctors in the Seoul area to return to work as they began a 3-day strike in protest against several government proposals, including the one to boost the number of doctors to deal with health crisis. World Health Organization said that there is likely only a slim possibility of people being reinfected with COVID-19. WHO spokeswoman's comments came following reports in Hong Kong that a man had contracted new coronavirus for a second time. Texas Governor Greg Abbott warned Texans that Hurricane Laura would hit the state as a Category 3 storm and advised residents to comply with evacuation orders. Abbott said that the state must also prepare for the possibility that Laura could strengthen to a Category 4 storm. Tropical storm Laura has wreaked havoc in the impoverished Caribbean country of Haiti, piling debris onto residential streets and damaging homes. At least 21 people were killed in total, mainly from flash flooding, and 198 families were left homeless. US President Donald Trump praised 5 new American citizens during a naturalization ceremony that aired on Tuesday, the second night of the Republican National Convention. US President Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention pardoned the conviction of a Nevada bank robber who has become an advocate for criminal justice reform. US women are marking the centennial of the national measure that enshrined into law the right to vote. The 19th Amendment to the US Constitution was formally certified on the 26th of August 1920. Protest continues in Belarus. School teachers led a new protest against President Alexander Lukashenko. Thousands gathered at the Ministry of Education to demonstrate against a threat by Lukashenko to fire school teachers who do not support his government. In New Zealand, gunman Brenton Harrison Tarrant told a New Zealand judge he will not speak in his defence at his sentencing hearing for the mass shooting of worshippers at 2 Christchurch mosques in 2019. The President of the United Nations Security Council said that he will not take any action on a purported US notification for a snapback mechanism on sanctions against Iran. Last Thursday, US Secretary of State submitted Washington's demand for return of all pre-2015 UN sanctions against Iran. Iran's nuclear chief Ali Akbar Salehi on Tuesday hailed his constructive talks with IAEA DG Rafael Mariano Grossi for opening a new chapter of cooperation between Iran and the IAEA. Salehi said that the Iran-IAEA cooperation will be developed more than ever. A third night of street protests over the police shooting of a black man erupted into gun violence late on Tuesday and early on Wednesday in Kenosha, Wisconsin, killing 2 people and wounding 1, the police said. The disturbances came as after Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers declared a state of emergency. The French government will unveil an economic recovery plan on the 3rd of September, Prime Minister Jean Castex said on Wednesday as it looks to revive activity in the wake of the new coronavirus pandemic. Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi urged Canada to remove the main obstacles in bilateral relations during his visit to Italy. Wang said Canada's detention of a Chinese citizen for no reason has caused serious difficulties in bilateral ties. 2 Thai student protest leaders were arrested and charged with sedition in connection with an anti-government rally held on the 18th of July. The 2 are among 15 people arrested in connection with a July 18 rally that authorities said breached internal security laws. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has hit TV screens to push a raffle aimed at covering the cost of a luxury presidential plane he has struggled to sell. The raffle aims to raise some 3 billion pesos or about $160 million. The winning tickets will be announced on the 15th of September. A violent flash flood killed more than 70 people and destroyed hundreds of homes just north of Afghanistan's capital. The floods swept through Parwan province, destroying 300 homes. Confirmed death toll reached 72, while 90 were injured. A parachutist completed the world's first jump from a solar-powered aircraft on Tuesday after the plane soared to a height of 1,520 meters over western Switzerland. Vietnam's Nguyen Van Chien has been almost 80 years without a trim. The 92-year-old from the southern Mekong Delta region is the proud owner of a thick dreadlock that is 5 meters long. James Anderson notched a historic 600th Test wicket for England as the world's 4th most successful bowler ever. The 38-year-old seamer had Azhar Ali caught at slip by Joe Root to reach the fantastic figure on the final day of Southampton Test. Anderson became the first fast bowler to reach 600 Test wickets. He is 4th on the all-time list of Test wicket takers behind spinners Muthiah Muralitharan, Shane Warne and Anil Kumble. Anderson's 600 Test wickets earned him a unanimous round of applause from some of the biggest names in Indian cricket. Anil Kumble said, "Welcome to the club," while Sourav Ganguly says 600 Test wickets is greatness. England won the 3-match Test series 1-0 against Pakistan after the 3rd Test in Southampton ended in a draw. With 15 overs left, the players mutually decided to settle for a draw. All Kings 11 Punjab and Rajasthan Royals squad members who arrived in UAE last week will have their first proper training session in months this evening. They have tested negative for COVID-19 thrice during their mandatory 6-day quarantine. Six-time Ballon d'Or winner Lionel Messi has told Barcelona that he wants to leave the club after nearly 2 decades with the Spanish Giants. The club confirmed on Tuesday that the Argentine sent a document expressing his desire to leave by triggering a release clause. Barcelona believes the clause is expired and Messi is contracted to the club until 2021 with a €700 million buyout clause. The board will meet soon, and some consider the only thing that could placate Messi is the resignation of the president Josep Maria Bartomeu and early elections. Messi had been considering his future at the new camp after a trophyless season ended with a humiliating 8-2 defeat by Bayern Munich in the Champions League, which prompted the sacking of coach Quique Setien. The extraordinary development potentially puts Messi within a reach of a dramatic move to Manchester City and a reunion with Pep Guardiola. Manchester United, PSG, Inter Milan and Juventus are also showing early interest. Barcelona fans gathered outside Camp Nou Stadium on Tuesday, sharing their anger towards the Barca board and shock at Lionel Messi's request to leave. The development threw the club into turmoil less than 2 weeks after the humiliating Champions League defeat against Bayern Munich. Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju had said that India are planning to host BRICS Games in 2021 and may align it with Khelo India Games. Rijiju's announcement came after he attended a meeting of sports ministers of the BRICS nations. India will get a chairmanship of the 5-nation independent international group in 2021 during Khelo India Youth Games 2021. India will invite BRICS member countries to showcase their traditional indigenous games during the inaugural or closing ceremony of Khelo India. Novak Djokovic's neck felt much better as he registered a 6-2, 6-4 victory over unseeded American Denis Sandgren at the Western and Southern Open. He took control from the outset against Sandgren and saved all 4 break points he faced. The win over Sandgren improved the number 1 ranked Djokovic's win-loss record to 20-0 in 2020, who will be eyeing his 18th Grand Slam title when the US Open begins next week. Djokovic will face 34th ranked Jan-Lennard Struff in the quarterfinals. Defending champion Daniil Medvedev barred his way past qualifier Aljaz Bedene. He will take on number 8 seed Roberto Bautista Agut in quarters. Railio Opelka, who is ranked 39th, delivered 19 aces and knocked off 2019 US Open semi-finalist Matteo Berrettini 6-3, 7-6. Opelka next meets number 4 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas. Stefanos Tsitsipas beat world number 16 John Isner 7-6, 7-6. The match was interrupted by a rain delay of nearly 1.5 hours in the first set. 3-time Grand Slam champion Andy Murray lost his match against 2016 Wimbledon runner-up Milos Raonic 2-6, 2-6. Murray had not competed since November because of a pelvic injury and is playing on a metal hip after 2 operations on that joint. Women's quarterfinal matchups set in WNS Open. 2-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka will face Enid Kontaveit, while Victoria Azarenka will take on Ons Jabeur. Former football star Ronaldinho arrived home in Brazil on a private jet on Tuesday following more than 5 months in detention in Paraguay over a fake passport scandal. A judge on Monday released Ronaldinho and his brother, who had both been held for a month in jail and another 4 months under house arrest in a hotel. That's it then in this edition of Express News. News and updates will continue on DD News and DD India.